Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And today I said I would make this video a long time ago. Actually, no, it's been like a couple weeks. But I said I would make a video that kind of goes over how much money I've spent on Maplestory in the past year and a half, maybe. Ever since COVID started again, which was around, I want to say March of 2020. Is when I really started getting back heavily into Maplestory, making gears, buying an X, whatever. Uh, so I'm just gonna go over, like kind of the category of what I spent a majority of my money on. So obviously there's a couple like gear, NX, Royals, Marvel, RNG things. There's a bunch of stuff, and I'll just go over kind of highlighting the total amount that I spent and then approximately how much I spent on each one. So yeah, let's get into that real quick. And I'm going to start off with going over my NX purchases and RNG items. All right, so let's start off looking in my cash inventory, right? So all this perma NX, I probably did buy a majority of it, but I also remember, boxing myself. So probably spent, I would say, around maybe $600-700 on premium surprise style boxes, anniversary boxes, and just like the RNG boxes in general. And that's just a broad number because I've definitely opened more boxes, but I got those from Marvel and such. So yeah. The next thing that I can't really show is Filo Books, and if you guys don't know, is they're actually in the cash shop right now. I did at one point spend a good chunk of money on this. I think it came out twice during COVID, aside from this, so this would be the third time. And I'm pretty sure the first time I dropped like, I don't know, $500-600. I'll just say 500. And then the next time I spent like $300. Just opening these books, which is really bad. But yeah, it's kind of for fun, so I just do it. And then the next thing that and I'll probably have like a little number thing show up every time, so it's easier to keep track. The next thing that I know for sure is the Wonderberry Pets. I know I made a video about me opening Wonderberries, and that wasn't really all I've done. I've done a lot of money into the Wonder Pets. I think the first time it ever came out, I did $500, and then in that video I showed I did like $100, and then off camera I did another 300, and I only ever got these two pets. Or actually, I think I got one more that I ended up selling. So yeah, my total is about 2,400 right now, and there's still a couple more things that I have to address, I think. Oh yeah, Marvel. So Marvel is the other thing that I actually saw myself spending a lot of money on because I really wanted a FSR at the time, right? And I also really wanted Lucid's earrings. So believe Marvel also came out 2 or 3 times in the past year and a half, and I believe the first time I did 500K. I actually think it might be a little more because I ended up breaking even on that one. So let's just say I ended up spending like $600 on NX for Marvel spins. Next time it came out, I was actually a little bit more controlled. Just kidding. I spent like I want to say I spent like 4 to 500, and I didn't get anything. Um, and then I ended up buying this FSR, and that costed me like I want to say another like 1 million NX on top, or 1,400,000, yeah, 1.4 million NX. So let's add that 1,400, and currently the total is now 4,800. Um, and I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I might have spent. Oh, an X on, and that's actually my Royals. So when my Adele first came out, I started off strong doing like, I think it was like 50, 60K an X with the Royals, and then over time I've done quite a bit more. I ended up spending like 200K to get one hair that I don't even use. But if I had to give it a rough estimate, considering how many Royals I got from Marvel, I've probably spent like $300 in total just spinning royals. Actually, it's probably less. It's probably like 200. Um, and yeah, that'll bring me up to an even 5,000. Um, so let's see, pets, Perma NX, Philo, Marvel. Um, Training wise, I'm not really gonna count any of that because I don't think that actually does anything. And then everything else, as you guys can see here, I'm actually down quite a bit of equips. So I've been defunding. It wasn't a secret. I told people once I liberated, I would go ahead and defund my Adele. Just because he doesn't need to be 72k stat to endgame bossing, and bossing endgame is more fun in a party anyway. So this was kind of what I thought would to be the right move. So right now my Adele is 47k stat. But if you guys saw my most recent gear video, you saw that my Adele at its peak post liberation was about 72k stat. Um, and that's pretty much where a majority of all of my NX went to. So for example, bought this ring, ended up violet cubing the main pot, which was like maybe like 30, 60k NX. The B pot on this took probably like 500, 600k. I remember, I think that I made a video on it. I bought this ring at 33% strength and I cubed the B pot. Didn't take much, maybe like 100k. Some of my older gears were a lot harder to get 2-line strength on, like these pendants. Costed me a fortune. Actually, probably not. I probably spent less than like 300-400k on them for both of them to get a 2-line stat B pot because I got pretty lucky. I remember the eye patch ended up spending like 500 for the main pot just to get it to legendary, and then like another 100k to get the stats that I wanted. And B pot was pretty similar, like 200-300k to get 2-line strength. You kind of just add that up for all of your gears, like because some obviously there's some things that you can't control, like emblem. I can't buy one, so I had to self cube this. I had to self cube my Genesis weapon, which I didn't really spend any of my own money on, because I just farmed for it. So I'm not really gonna count that because this video is, how much money I spent on this game. And I actually know the total amount of money that I spent on Maplestory, just because every single time you charge an X to your account, Nexon sends you an email, kind of like a receipt. And I basically just went over that for the past year and a half, and I totaled it all. And if I were to do that right now, I would have spent roughly $8,000 on cubes, just cubing my own gear, um, which will total me to roughly $13,000. Obviously, there's going to be some error in there. There's times where I bought NX and gave it to my friends to charge so that they could get MVP red, and then there's also times where my friends let me, boosted me up, let me charge NX codes on my account so that I could get MVP red, uh, and gift them maple points. But overall, I think $13,000 is a pretty good estimate of how much money I spent in this game. I mean, it's kind of, I'll never know exactly how much because I will never remember all the times I bought NX codes for friends and whatnot. But yeah, I'll just go ahead and say it's about 13,000, and now you guys know. For my Adele, what that meant was cubing through 2 weapons, a secondary, an emblem, a whole bunch of gear, obviously the cosmetics too. Um, and I got to about 72k stat. Now I believe this is all in NX by the way, if you were to buy gears with mesos already made from the auction house, you'd probably save a significant amount from cubing everything yourself. It was just, at my time, there wasn't really good alternatives, especially to CRA, so I had to make those myself. Um, so I had to cube those from the ground up. So I didn't really have a choice. If you play in a more popular server like Barra, you probably can get gears no problem. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and conclude this video here. For those of you guys who skipped to the end, I don't know what to say. You should probably watch. But yeah, that is how I spent about $13,000 on Maplestory in the past year. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I will see you all next time. Peace!